Sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Be happy Monday, everybody, and I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did, and welcome to another week and another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming to you live on the South Florida Live networks, YouTube, Facebook, and again, coming to a radio dial near you tonight at 8 p.m. on the Oldies South Florida network. That's up and down the FM dial, up and down the Florida coastline at 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, and let's see. Oh, also 106.9 FM up in the Palm Beaches. Gentlemen, Defo, Lubie, how are you today, and how was your weekend?
I couldn't be better. You guys look like you had a blast out there with the professor at the Foundry, a show that will re-air on Wednesday officially, but is actually up and ready to go as you guys took in the Saturday brunch, and couldn't be more excited. I always love when Mike Mayo conducts any kind of food experiment here on the show. The hot dog eating contest, I think, was a massive hit and had an enormous number of viewers. And today, you're going to try a taste test here. Inspired by what? I mean, are you a fan of Lay's potato chips over Wise? Is that what
No.
inspired you to do this?
Okay.
No, I like neither. What inspired me to do this was we were talking about National Junk Food Day last week, and I guess we brought up just the whole issue of potato chips, and Neki Mohan likes chips, and who doesn't like chips? But, usually, I like the Cape Cod. I like the thicker, crunchier chips.
And my mom
are good.
mom
Yeah,
likes
right
the
up there.
potato chip, something like that.
I keep the junk food out of my house, but that's hard to believe. But I waste my calories on like really good.
Depends how you
rich
define
restaurant
junk.
food. But the bottom line is, I do keep a bag of Lay's around the house because my mom, when I make her a sandwich or a burger for lunch, she likes having a little bit of potato
Yeah,
chips
the
on the side, and her preferred chips because of her, I guess, advanced age is just a thinner, lighter chip, and she likes the classic Lay's. And so I mentioned that to you, and you said Wise potato chips are better. Now, I used to have Wise as a kid, I guess, in my lunchbox, so to speak. Here we are. And I guess, I don't know if it was a Brooklyn thing or not, but I remember we did have a lot of Wise potato chips. But I don't remember, again, I've never done a taste test between the two. And you said Wise is clearly a superior chip. And I said, no, there's no difference. And you said, you're wrong. And then I kind of bit your head off as I'm wont to do. And already I owe you an apology, because as I put up on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, and I think we just surpassed the 84,000 mark this weekend, which is crazy. I guess, we could fill, I guess, some of these college stadiums. I don't know what the Gator World of Florida, but I know they've expanded. I don't know if they're up to 90,000, but
FSU is in like the 80s because they've done a lot of renovations to add more skyboxes. So you can fill the dog.
Somebody was saying, we should have a big like a meetup event. I said, well, we're going to have to rent a stadium. Which stadium? So maybe Doak Campbell Stadium or whatever they call it.
Up to Marlins House. Have a couple of different things.
Well, they have
half the group one night, half the next. It'll be their two sellouts of the season.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I went out and I actually bought a couple of bags of chips to do this contest or whatever, a taste test. As you can see, I don't want to see what I did. So my methodology was this.
You can see a difference.
You can see
I actually would like to
behind
see.
me.
Well, you can actually see the flavorless nature of the Lay's potato chip, which is not a bad potato chip, but it's a bland color. It has no texture. They're all the same shape. They're kind of like one of those ones that come in a can that everybody likes.
Pringles.
Pringles, yeah.
Like
now,
Pringles.
the plain Pringles have zero flavor also. Zero.
Pringles suck. Yeah, the
Pringles taste like if a 3D printing machine would make a potato chip.
Yeah.
That's what a Pringles tastes like.
Tastes plastic almost.
But the thing is, so you are remarking. I guess you're a Lay's hater, and that's fine.
No, I'm not a Lay's hater. You see, you always like to put labels on people that aren't true, taking the simplest of statements and then blowing them way out of proportion.
Are you saying the
Lay's
media...
potato chips are fine? I mean, I kind of go for the flavored ones a little bit more than the plain ones. I want to say historically, and I might be wrong about this, that Wise was in action long before Lay's.
Yes.
And Lay's came along and it kind of like, had the great catchy ad
Is
campaign
Lay's
where nobody can eat just one. And that caught a lot of people's attention. And it may well be true because who can eat one potato chip? Like nobody. But
did Lay's get its name because they're part of the Frito-Lay company?
Yeah.
Yes.
And anyway, no, it's a decent product. There's no question. Very popular. Probably sells more than Wise at this point. Wise was old school.
I didn't know Wise was around still.
And way more flavor. And I got hooked as a young kid. The Wise onion and garlic potato chip, I think, was at the time the greatest potato chip ever. Now you could expand out. You could have your Cape Cod, very good. Voodoo chips, excellent, out of New Orleans.
Voodoo chips
a lot of different varieties.
There's a lot of Utz fans out there. UTZ, including the queen of pastrami, Ellen Loves Burgers, Ellen Freed. She's a food maven and spends part of the year here in South Florida, Delray Beach, and she chimed in that she likes her Utz. She's also a poker dealer, so that's.
But this was a straight up proposition, Ben. Lay's versus
no,
Wise.
I didn't want to clutter it up.
And there's no question. I mean, you can even see the difference. Visibly, you can see one is vastly superior to the other. You don't even have to taste them, Mike Mayo.
Here's the methodology. There were 2 bags, one Wise and one of the Lay's, and I had an assistant open the bags. I have 2 of the exact identical white bowls from my kitchen cupboard. One of them was filled with Lay's, and I put 2 labels on the bottom of it, and one says Lay's on the bottom and one says Wise on the bottom, but I don't know which is which.
Okay.
And again, my assistant put the chips into the different bowls. Now, there's clearly visible differences, and I'm almost 100% sure of which is which. Here, as you mentioned, is your bland blonde,
your Lay's,
bleached chips, and I guess you would call this the French's yellow mustard of potato chips. They're just
you could say that. Now you're thinking like the old writer for the food columns.
This is something that would appeal to the bland masses in the Midwest, maybe. Not that we like to be geographically disparaging.
There you go, slamming Midwesterners, yeah.
But this is. It seems like a very neutral chip. Like if vanilla is your ice cream flavor, then these chips might be. It looked like they might have actually been fried in a vat of just. Not even. I don't know what's the.
Not even oil, like boiled.
Not
in
even
water.
oil. Yeah, like very, very. Yeah, very.
But there's nothing wrong with them. They're fine. I mean, it's just they're not as good as Wise.
Okay, so you're not a hater. You just prefer the Wise. Now here is the second batch of chips, which officially I don't know which is which.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god!
These have almost a golden or deep brownish hue that look like they've been either fried in oil that's been sitting around, maybe used and developed a little bit of character, a little flavor. That would be the Hudson River Dirty Dog hot dog, like equivalent.
It's like a Cuban sandwich versus a bologna on white. This is the level of competition we're talking about here.
All right, so this is what I want to say.
Cuban sandwich purchased at Hialeah Park versus bologna on white at Horn and Hardart back in the day.
So, clearly I know which is which now, even though I didn't look at the bottom of the bowls.
What are you using as a palate cleanser there? What is that? Vodka?
Water.
Oh, water. Okay.
Crystal Springs, spring water. And
okay, so I may want to make this comment after because I don't want to ruin this whole thing we have because I actually think it's fun. So I'll give my thoughts on. You guys are debating this chip, and that's fine. I'm younger, and I grew up in a world where junk food was like a food group. You guys had to look for the junk food. It was thrust at me. So I will. Let's do the taste, or we can take a break if you want. But let's do the taste test, and then when we come back, I want to because I'm sort of confused about this whole debate. To be brutally honest.
Okay. Well, there's no confusion. It's just like when somebody says, "Oh, one is better than the other." My natural inclination as a critic is to do a blind taste test to see if that's actually discernible as truth or if it's just an opinion. And again, everything is opinion. Some people are going to prefer Lay's no matter what. And I'm sorry to mischaracterize Defo as a Lay's hater. He's not a Lay's hater.
They're so used to you doing this that people don't even pay attention anymore. There's a parenthetical around everything that you say in that regard. When you completely condemn somebody for saying, well, it's not my favorite place, it doesn't mean the place is bad. It just means it's not my favorite place, period. That's
Defo,
all.
I've already started off the week with a Monday Mayo mea culpa to you by saying, because I said there's no difference between the two, and that's clearly patently false. I mean, I'm way off base.
Exactly. Yeah.
There is
Wrong
a
again, Mayo, as
visible
they say.
visual
Yeah.
Definitely
difference
different.
between the two. You can tell right off the bat that
The
what I
texture,
am
the feel,
figuring.
everything. Yeah. The
Yeah,
taste is
again, it has
night
more
and day.
crinkles.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't I would disagree with your characterization as Lay's is all uniform. They're not all the same size. They're not all the same shape.
No,
They are very,
I
very
didn't say
white
that either.
or
That's
bleached.
Pringles is the
Oh,
same, but
well,
Lay's in general, comparative wise, bland. Overall bland. Period.
okay. Well, let's get. Oh, first of all, before we get into the tasting, James Sarney, the official mascot and statistician of the Lunchbox, chimes in saying that potato chips were invented in, get this, Sifo, Saratoga Springs in 1853.
Really?
So maybe some degenerate horse player.
Was the
after
track
having
open
the-
then, or it doesn't
I don't
go
even
back that
know.
far?
I
I'm
think
going to
that-
say no
I
to that.
think
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it was post Civil War or right around
Yeah.
the Civil War.
They're like
1860s.
125, 130 years old, at Toga. Something
So,
like that. Yeah.
no, I am intrigued about who and why decided to slice up a potato and throw it into a vat of oil. Very thin.
Well, think about it too,
slice.
and you can still get this, and this would also be mentioned by people. You can still go to a couple of places. I think Brews Room was a big advocate of this. The kind of fries they make right there. I mean, the potato chips they make there.
Yep.
And there are a couple of places that do it. And anytime you get the buffalo chips, they call them.
Yeah.
Anytime you get a chance to order those, it's usually well worth your while. And you slap a little vinegar on there, and it really is fantastic.
So no, I mean, I do appreciate places around town where they do make, some places do their own house-made hand-cut fries, and some people do their own house-made potato chips. I think Smoke Barbecue, my friends over there on the Galt Ocean Mile, Scott, basically, I think they did a house-made potato chip for a while. I
A
think
little
they
lunch
still do.
place, very good, very economical, great lunch specials called Brendan's on Federal Highway just south of Atlantic. Used to be called Yahtzee's for many, many years. Was a fabled establishment, much like the Stained Glass Pub. That place kind of, fell apart a little bit. And this guy that owned another restaurant, sports bar up the street, broke off with his partner or whatever, and he started Brendan's. I think he's just recently sold it. But they do it there, and they do a great job. And it's a great spot to go in for lunch, like $6-7. They have a ton of great specials there. Very nice.
Very good. Nice.
All
All right. Well, I'm going to go in. I'm going to first do a single chip of the lighter, blonder blend. What Defo will say is the blender chip. I haven't tasted it yet, but
Yeah.
let's see.
All
I'm
right.
going to
What
go
do you
in
think?
with a single
Mayo.
chip.
I'll give you a play-by-play. All right. Mayo liking what seems to be, fabricated crunching noise. Because I believe
You
he's got
really
some
hate
kind of
noise.
amplifier there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to even get that much.
All right.
in
So
terms
I
of
ate the
sound
single
impact.
chip. I
Okay.
ate the single chip, and as one of our
Well, you have to have another
listeners-
one, according to
Oh no!
legend.
Well,
Yeah.
no. The first I want to start with the single and give you my impressions.
right.
It was like, like light as a feather, so
Right.
thin that it almost doesn't even exist. And actually, one of our viewers, Barney Agate, who was a loyal LESF member, says Lay's chips are so thin they need to adapt their cutters to slice locks. So I guess
There you go.
it's locks thin. I guess you can actually almost see through it. And this one does have a little peephole. It's kind of weird. I see.
See, you should have covered your eyes with the potato chips, and that way you wouldn't have been able to
Maybe-
visually identify them.
Maybe for the Visit Lauderdale
Well, it's a
Lauderdale
no-brainer.
Spa,
This is a layup.
I could
You
do
already
my,
no pun
treatment.
intended, but you already condemned the Lay's potato
They're not
chip.
very salty.
Being
And I tell you
lifeless,
what, I like, and this is the regular variety. It's not the less salty or low
right.
sodium. It's
Do they have low
it-
sodium Lay's potato chips?
I don't
didn't
know,
if they
but
did.
this is it again, flavor wise, a little bit bland, a little bit unsalty, which at this point in my life, with the way my blood pressure is going, I could use the lower salt.
No, you just
and-
skip the potato chips at that point.
Well,
if
move
you're
on
worried
to the
about your
fries.
health, it's not like you
That's
need
the
to
missing one.
shovel a bag of chips in your face.
Here
every
might be
day.
the key.
Yeah.
When you pile on two of them, like one on top of the
Yeah,
other.
well, you're not supposed to have to eat 6.
Well, that's already an exception. You're already breaking the
You're
rules.
supposed to
here.
have to eat 6.
Yeah.
No,
Good.
then you get more of the salt flavor.
Okay.
You get a little more crunch, and so. But again, if that's breaking the rules, but how many people just eat chips with a single chip at one at a time, versus taking a whole bunch of them and just stuffing them in your mouth?
People
Rarely,
savor chips one at a time. I do. I don't necessarily
do?
grab a whole
You're a
fistful. Yeah,
connoisseur of
yeah.
chips.
Do you eat McDonald's fries that way too? I mean, come on, everybody in the world, you take like
I
3 or
haven't
4
eaten McDonald's
fries, you dunk
fries
them
for
in
a
the
long time, but if I was, I don't mind. One at a time is good.
Don't get all sanctimonious on me. No, everybody eats McDonald's fries. You don't.
I
eat
haven't been
McDonald's
to a
fries?
McDonald's
You
in
don't-
years.
wow, look
I
at
really haven't. Yeah.
Is there something you're not telling us? Are you on like some sort of restrictive diet?
No, but I mean, you mentioned junk food. I'll tell you what. I used to be addicted to onion and
Cocaine?
garlic Wise potato chips. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was an addiction there, but it was certainly a preference. And large bags of peanut M&Ms. I could consume the whole bag in
I
one
love
sitting.
peanut M&Ms. Yes.
Peanut M&Ms, and
That's
you
That's
would
a
tell
great
yourself,
junk food.
That's
you
a
would
win.
tell yourself, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't
Yeah.
do it," and then before you knew it, you had eaten the entire bag, along with a bag of Wise onion and garlic potato chips. I mean, I was a junk food junkie.
Let me
of
ask you
massive
this,
proportions, yes.
because when Wise triggers all these Brooklyn memories. I mean, when
Yeah.
you say like the Wise garlic and onion,
I remember him from
and
the bowling
which-
alley. Yeah,
which-
that's where I remember eating.
what
them a
was
lot.
your choice? Because when I hear that, I think Yoo-hoo. I think Yogi Berra and crack open a nice
I used to like a Yoo-hoo. Yeah,
Yoo-hoo, which again is one of those things like there's not a natural substance in it. It's totally like it tastes like something that's
fabricated.
completely
I mean, just
made
awful.
in a
Yeah.
lab somewhere by Dr. Frankenstein. But when you have like a handful of chips with a Yoo-hoo, there's nothing better. I mean, that was
Yoo-hoo was good. I mean, you had to debate buying it because it seemed like it came in less quantity for the money than other soft drinks like Coca-Cola and 7-Up at the time. But I mean, that's another one, 7-Up and Sprite. I mean, I don't think there's any comparison, but you probably are a Sprite guy. All right, what are you going to do? Are you going to try the other potato chip?
so
here?
I've gone now to the darker chip, and I'm spraying all kinds of spittle all over my windscreen.
Well,
here.
that's
It's
an
really
uncommon
an
for
ugly
you on
sight.
this show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a disaster from that standpoint. But
No, usually I keep my food in my mouth, but this time for some reason these are it's like sawdust. It's such a fine product. Those Lay's chips. It's just like
well,
like
what
when
was
you're
your
standing
overall?
next
I
to
mean,
the-
could you assign a number to this Lay's potato chip? Let's go. Out of 10,
1
you
to
would give
on
it
a
five.
1 to 10 scale.
a
It's
7, 6 and a hook. What?
I'd give it like a 5.5, maybe.
Oh,
Like for a
okay,
single
low,
chip.
man. You're like the
Yeah.
French judge.
Is
here.
this the
What is
second
that?
chip?
I mean, it's all right. It's classic, but again, it's like for people, it's kind of like a plain Jane thing. Now, I'm looking
This is
through
the
this.
second one.
The second one, which appears to be, it also has
Yeah.
some holes in it. I'm looking through it right now. I don't know if you
Which is
can
good,
see
yeah.
there's like this
It
little
shows
hole
that
there.
they're
Yeah.
individually attended
And
to.
this one, it kind of looks like the moonscape. There's little pockets in it, and it has like this little burnt edge there at the tip. People who are watching on the
There's an
video
owl
stream.
flying around in the background there in your.
All right, I'm
going
going to take my my taste of the single chip.
Yeah. Kate
Oh,
Brainerd
yeah.
says, "Eat it already, Mayo. Eat it." Congratulations on Cyberknife.
Oh,
by the way, Kate.
Cyberknife. We
Yeah,
will-
yeah, tremendous.
Um,
Don't get
Wow, you
distracted,
know
Mayo.
what?
It is a
Concentrate.
bigger crunch.
Concentrate. Yeah, one thing at a time.
It is a
Here
bigger
we go.
crunch.
it's funny. It's like a deeper, crispier chip up
There you
front
go. There
on
you
the
go.
front end, but on the back end, it completely disintegrates and devolves into nothingness.
You're talking like it was cotton candy. Get out of here, Mike.
So it's kind of like
You're going to condemn the
not
Wise
to get
potato chip?
metaphysical, but it's kind of like life. It's just kind of like you take it. You
Well,
think you
it's
got
a short
something,
trip,
and it
my
just
friend.
disappears.
Enjoy it while it goes down. I
Um,
mean,
I'm kind of wow. This is interesting.
so
Do you
now
like
you're
the Lay's-
torn.
Lay's
Oh
more?
my God,
No,
What a wimp.
ooh.
this was a foregone
right.
conclusion that the Wise was going to win this thing.
I'll tell you what, it's greasier. Maybe it has
Thank
a
you.
little bit more
Yeah.
character. A
Thank you.
little bit more of that fatty mouthfeel.
Thank you.
But flavor wise, I'm regrading. I'm making Wise the 5.5. Lay's is going up to 6.5. Lay's is my
Wow.
winner.
Oh well, I mean, you gave it a very modest score there.
Both of them.
I think too. You also have to, because you say like nobody can eat just one. That was the All Lay's advertising slogan, and it's probably true. But
It actually has
after you consume a bag of the two, I mean, that's what you might have to do. And never mind that walk of life you did yesterday. That's just a start there, Mike Mayo. 3 miles. I think you need to do it today after this experiment. But if you ate the whole bag, I think you would be far more satisfied with a bag of Wise potato chips than Lay's potato chips. I
So-
believe that to be true.
So the thing is, like the Wise, even though it has again that fuller, richer on the front end, and even on the back end, it doesn't just disappear into nothingness. There's actually a little bit of a burnt, acrid thing because, as
There
you
you
can
go.
see, many of these chips are actually
Yeah,
burnt.
dark.
And again,
Thank
this
you.
is one of those things at the
Some
pizza
character.
spot where people say it's burnt, and I say no, it's charred. Like at pizza spot because you have
Yeah.
all those other flavors of the sauce and the crust, and that is char. This, my friends, when I eat this and I get the flavor on the back end.
Yeah.
You're a convert now. Good.
No,
About
I'm
time
not-
you woke
I'm-
up. I mean,
You don't like
this
it,
is
right?
like
no,
your
but I'm
woke
saying
moment.
I'm saying that's not a good thing. I'm getting
Not
more
a good
burnt.
thing.
No, I'm saying
get
this is
that in.
burnt. This is not charred. This isn't giving it better flavor.
Well, and it's what I want to, and I think
we
it's
go.
what we do. You've talked about this. What are we looking at?
Oh,
He's looking at the wise bowl. We
Wise.
knew
Yeah,
it was
you
a
can
wise
tell
bowl.
the difference.
I mean,
We
what are you
figure that
doing
out.
here, Mayo?
Well, no, I mean we knew, but we just had to confirm. I hadn't looked at it before.
How do we know you put the label on the right bowl?
Okay, so
I mean, we don't know
here's
that.
what I want to get at, and I think Mayo touched on it because it's funny. We've talked about it with meat. We've talked about it with different things. People's tastes are different, right? And it even is with chips because I actually like the lighter one. Now I grew up in an era where people try not to burn things, try not to overcook things. So that's what I'm born and raised with. Defo is from the era where you wanted it a little bit more gritty and
Char that sucker.
oil.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how my grandmother now with meat, she was just a lunatic. But so that's what I want to say to take it out further is I didn't grow up eating chips. Like I was like, I don't know if lucky or they wanted to kill us, but we had Doritos. You had like combos, you had the cheddar popcorn, you had all these other kinds of junk food that I didn't need to just eat a bland chip. So to me, they're all the same.
What do you think?
Homemade, that's different. But like to buy it, I will never buy chips in a store. Like I don't understand.
What do you think of what I'm holding up right now, Defo and Lubie? You see that has that little green edge, and I don't know if that means they used the
No,
potato.
I'm afraid
I
I thought you were holding up a condom. I mean, it looks very strange.
No, it's this edge of the
Something
Wise
you'd find on
chip.
the streets of New Orleans.
No,
just laying
this
there.
edge of the Wise chip not only is it a little slightly burnt, it has that green tint, and I don't know if they use the
It
potato.
has character, Mike
oxi-
Mayo. It's known as character.
Sarni asked a good question. I will say if I'm putting a chip in a sandwich, I think a regular plain chip's the only chip. Like, what other chip are you putting in a sandwich? Like, I don't think
of these two. I think I'd put the Lay's in there. I think.
I
wouldn't put
chip
chips on a sandwich. I mean, that's
Oh,
another
I think.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. I think if you put a couple of potato chips, and again, because it gives a little crunch to something, if you're having like just a turkey sandwich, and if you're going to put a little mustard on it, a
Negative,
couple of
my
chips
friend.
across the top are good. I mean. All right. Well, we disagree, and that's okay because it's fun to disagree.
Well, are you a fan of
often.
Primanti Brothers where they throw like French
even
fries
like
and coleslaw
That's
on a
fine.
sandwich? What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
when I'm drunk and I'm in Pittsburgh, but if I'm at Fort Lauderdale,
They couldn't
I'm
just
not
put it
going.
on the side. They have to throw it right there on the sandwich. I guess it can
Well,
be
it's a
favorable.
it's a distinguishing characteristic, which is what food places want to do. Something that's their
So
signature.
what's the conclusion here? I mean, you've done the test. You've been
the
all
conclusion-
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, where are you with this?
The conclusion is that I am wrong, and I owe you an apology because there are clearly
No
differences
apology necessary. Wrong is okay.
between
Yeah, there's
my
nothing wrong with
assertion. You were saying I was saying it's the same thing, and you were like, "No, Wise is better." Now,
that. Way
I am
better.
apologizing because
Way
I'm
better.
saying there are clearly differences. They are distinctly different chips, both in the appearance and also the taste and flavor. But where me and you differ, and this is where food is subjective, where you would go with Wise, I'm going with Lay's. Believe it or not, I'm going to move to the Midwest because I am one of those.
You should
Yeah,
at this point.
bland,
Just
you
go,
want the blander
go live
chips.
next to a Skyline Chili in the Midwest and eat your Lay's bland potato
doesn't like
chips, and
Skyline.
And
claim
of
to be
course-
this brilliant food critic with eclectic tastes that are as far-reaching as anybody could ever want for somebody
God.
to have that is writing articles about food. I mean, it's all you've been exposed as a fraud, basically.
I think
That's
he
what's
is a
happening.
fraud.
And a
is-
couple more. It's glad to see so many of the viewers chiming in. And
Yeah,
Tom
really.
T, congrats
that's
and happy
sexy, though.
anniversary. Tom T says Zapp's voodoo chips are the only
Tom T,
chips
by
that
the
No,
way,
those are
knocked
great.
it out of the park.
The
We have to
voodoo
get
chips
to
are
that
great. The voodoo
on
chips are
show.
great.
Yeah.
But what? Meanwhile, Tropical Acres. I mean, it's something that we have to
Yes.
get into because tonight would be a night. Now I have tennis
Thank you.
sessions
Yes.
going Monday and Tuesday, so you might be out of luck on a half-price wine. Lubie, I believe.
I think
Did your
Wednesday I'm
8-year-olds
free.
finally cash in on the championship? Did they get the belt?
It feels like it's a soccer
next
game
week.
the way that they've done this thing because we have a game tonight, which is our last regular season game, and I was grateful. I thought the season was done.
Yeah.
They released a schedule for the playoffs, and I think there could be 3 games next week if we win Monday.
All right.
So I'm
it's
so
like the
fresh with
NHL. Everybody makes the playoffs.
Exactly. They just throw it out at everyone. But I think I may be free this Wednesday, which sort of, again, like you said, Defo, ruins Mayo's trying to get the hookup. thing.
I'm out of commission Wednesday and Thursday. That's the whole reason we had to tape the show at
That's
the
our thing.
Foundry on Saturday.
all right.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be
So
laid
you're
up.
out for another week, Mike.
So we'll
That's
have
good.
to revisit
I'm
next
gonna
week.
be. They don't call it injured reserve anymore, right? They just call it the.
We may have to go
injured
to like
list.
Christine Lee's down at the track one day. We know we can find Mike there
You know,
punching away on a Saturday.
we do.
That might
well,
be
no,
the
we-
move. Yeah.
No, we're gonna go to Tropical Acres
All right.
because we love Tropical Acres.
We
And you
do,
know
yeah,
why, Defo? I mean, I love it every day of the week, but particularly on Monday, Tuesday, tonight is half price wine night, and you get some
Yeah.
of the great wines. You find it and buy it there cheaper than you get it at some of your better, discount liquor stores. So, like case in point, that the Belle Gloss Pinot Noir that's become so popular. Restaurants down in South Beach, they push it for $130,
Ooh.
$150 a bottle. You could find it in the stores for like 38. Well, typically at Tropical Acres, it's 66, but on half price wine night, it's $33. You can't beat that
Wow.
deal. And you pair that up with one of their prime ribs, roasted fresh daily, or the filet mignon I always love. Or better yet, Monday through Friday, summertime, it's the twin lobster deal. 2 whole Maine lobsters steamed up just for you, served with a salad and side dish for $35. Again, tremendous value, tremendous old school hospitality from the Studiali family. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport, and 95 in Dania. And again, the butcher shop they have is open every day except Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you could bring home some of their products and throw them on the grill at home. Or the dining room opens every day but Sunday at 4:30 p.m. with the early bird special and happy hour in the bar. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I'd have to say the potato chip eating maneuver wasn't as exciting as the hot dog eating contest.
No,
although,
you almost passed
once
that.
again,
So you want me to
we
eat the whole bags right now? I could just shovel them right there.
Well,
please
yeah,
don't.
no, it'd be good. Yeah, just start shoveling them in your face. I think you should go one fist, at a time. One into the Lays, one into the
Double
Ys,
fisting.
and see where you're standing. All right, coming back with more. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox continues. A lot of people making comments on this thing, which is great. We enjoy that on South Florida Live and, of course, on the WWNN family of radio stations. We'll be back with more in a moment.
It's oldies South Florida.
Yeah.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. This summer, enjoy the good life for less in Greater Fort Lauderdale with Lauder Deals. It's great deals on dining, hotels, attractions, spas, and more all summer long. So start planning your summer getaway or staycation online at visitlauderdale.com/deals and see all the ways you can save. From miles of golden beaches to pampering at celebrated resorts and great meals at local restaurants and bars, your dream summer vacation awaits. So shop Lauder Deals now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. And we're back on a Monday edition of the Lunchbox. We just did
Defo's eating. You like ruined Defo. He's yelled at me for 12 years about eating on air. Now he's eating every show. This is the Mayo
I got a couple of cash.
I corrupt people.
Pam
I
was
am
gonna
the
have a healthy
devil.
lunch. Now she's going and getting Doritos and chips, barbecue chips, just because of Mayo. Yes, this is what the Mayo.
You know, I was born in June of 666. So I am doing the devil's work, my friends. So
Very nice.
anyway,
What about this thing thing that I know you love talking about Tom and Louisiana Kitchen, man, but that looked fantastic. But
Oh,
what
well,
he
funny
put
you should
together there
mention
on
that.
Sunday, and you
So,
were up there with the great Joe Casal. Was Tasso along
yeah,
for the ride?
Joe.
Tasso,
Well, Tasso apparently had
the
a
dog.
play date. With
Oh yeah.
Tasso, his dog did not come along for the
Oh
ride.
my
He
God.
was
that's not
pooped.
nice.
Apparently tired after a play date, a full day of frolicking with another dog, and I can't believe like Tasso has reached the point where, because he used to be a very frantic little pup and he didn't want to be left alone, but then he was like, I guess Joe just said he was too tired to go out, and we met up at Tom's Louisiana Kitchen, and Tom said that somebody came up and pretended to be me and said, Mike, oh yeah, Mike, and he was back, putting together his stuff, and apparently he hit somebody up with a couple of extra goodies that wasn't me, but anyway, we had a fantastic time there, and he did his usual all the great Cajun Creole stuff, and he does it. He did the celebration for his first anniversary Saturday and Sunday at Nobo Brewing. Nobo Brewing is in Boynton Beach, and he basically then had the stuff like the gumbo, jambalaya, all these other things. So it was and I had something I hadn't had before, which he calls it the pork Louis Prima. It's pork tenderloins and kind of a Cajun Creole sauce with the bell peppers and onions, and he did it over cheese grits. That was really good. But
the cheese.
The thing that he kind of gave me at the end, and I was too stuffed to eat it, but we were talking about it last week. You see it? That's the blueberry mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
You took it
that
home
looks good.
with a couple of walnuts on it. Now, when I first heard about it,
I'm not sure it shows up as well on camera as it probably tastes.
See, it looks good to me. It looks like a dessert.
It looks like baby vomit. I mean, it really does. But
it looks like dessert. It looks like a dessert.
No, on this tiny camera that he's got on his computer.
So. Yes, when I first heard about it, I cringed and I said, well, "What's this?" And how how drunk was he when he came up with thinking of this? But as Lubie says, if you think of it as dessert, and I did have it as dessert last night, I just was so stuffed I can only have a couple of spoonfuls. But it tastes like kind of a classic Jewish noodle kugel. But instead of using raisins, you're using blueberries, and instead of using the cottage cheese, which always makes me cringe, he's using the ricotta impasto or whatever, the stuff they use in cannolis. Now, last night when I had it warm, as a dessert, it had a good little sweetness, and it was like very satisfying. Now I'm doing the ultimate test, which is how does it taste after sitting in the in the fridge overnight, and I'm eating it.
I'm going to say it's even better.
Probably great.
And this again, he put a couple of little for the crunch. I think a couple of chopped up some walnuts.
Pecans. He said pecans, and
I think
it's a better move. I think the pecans is a better move for that.
There you go. Mike Mayo chomping down again on the air. He's just eaten 2 bags of potato chips and now blueberry mac and cheese from Tom's Louisiana Kitchen. And when he's able to speak again, we'll get his review of the cold version.
A little thick, but you know what?
I thought you were going to talk about the grilled oysters, man. Those look sensational.
The grilled oysters are great. The barbecue shrimp
was back
great.
in New Orleans.
I mean, he had all these. So my daughter, Natalia, I took her up there. She had the roast beef debris po' boy, excellent, with that potato salad on the side. And
they do the shrimp oyster po' boy.
Yeah, he does it all. He drops a new menu every week. Nice. I better stop eating now. You carry me a little bit.
No. Again, Mike Mayo pays tribute to Hank Goldberg here on there. And, he's eating so much of this blueberry mac and cheese from Tom's Louisiana Kitchen that we have to throw it to a break immediately and then hope that he's okay by the time we come back, which isn't always the case.
I'm done. I give it a thumbs up. I apologize. I'm apologizing.
Don't apologize.
This show should be known as the apology. Mike
Mayo's
apologizes to the world. Yeah,
Mayo's mea culpas for those who know Latin.
You're a changed man. Did something happen in your life that might have triggered some sort of personal metamorphosis?
You know.
My God, you're a whole different guy. You used to irascible. I mean, just whatever you say, he's going to disagree with you, and then just stop your thought in the process and tell you you're a moron. What happened to that, Mike Mayo? And by the way, too, I mean, how come you're so humble now? You're not even taking credit for the dismantling of the Florida Panthers.
You didn't even talk about the Panthers.
Wow. They reacted to your comments. Doug Sifu said, "Hey, listen, I'm tired of hearing this Mayo slam me on his Lunchbox show." Let's
as
trade
much as-
Huberto. Yeah, let's just trade this guy who had like a sensational year last year and get somebody else in here.
As much as I'd like to take credit for the Panthers making a reaction, I'm only an influencer in the food world. I don't think that the reach of the Lunchbox extends to the executive suites.
You don't
at
know
Lone
who's
Panther
listening. You
Parkway.
never know who's listening.
That's true. There are
Yeah.
people who are listening, and that's the other part. I mean, I've been
No, it's
going
good.
around,
Yeah.
and
I had a guy
hopefully-
ask me, he was shocked by the time change because he was listening straight on what is
Right.
now the Oldies station there, South Florida's Oldies home. And he said, well, what the hell happened, man? I was addicted to the Lunchbox there at 12 o'clock
here.
every day. I said, well, we're still here, South Florida Live, but
Check us
the
out.
radio station made some moves, and so, we're running that thing a
more
little later.
places. Yeah, we're in
Yeah,
more
well, yes,
places.
you-
Again, we're doing the live stream, so you could actually see our pretty faces at noon, from noon to 1 every weekday. But now the radio station, Oldies South Florida, is what they're going by. oldiessouthflorida.com. You could go on the website or on your phone, download their app, and you could listen to the archive anytime. But they're airing the shows at 8 p.m. at night. You can
Under
find
the
that on your
boardwalk. That's our
on
leader.
your- Yeah, no,
Down
and it's
by
good.
the shore,
I
under
think
the
it fits.
boardwalk.
It fits for us.
Sort of fits.
Hey, I wanted to mention a couple stories because
Yeah.
Joe Casella was telling a couple of good stories.
He is a
from-
real food aficionado, though, man. I mean, he cooks the same
He-
stuff
he
that he finds in
cooks.
restaurants. It's
He's
amazing.
Italian.
Yeah, he's
He
fantastic.
loves New Orleans, even though he never lived there. He's an interesting dude because he
Very
has a
interesting, yeah.
background as a former sports agent, dealt in the worlds of football and tennis. He also was in business, and now, in his later years, he does every football season. He gets hired on as a spotter in the broadcast booths of both Fox Network and
Oh,
Westwood
really?
One Radio Network, and he also does some college football. He's going to do some preseason Dolphins games. And a spotter, for those who don't know, they sit up in the booth with the announcers, and they always are like the eyes and ears for the announcers, and they give them down and distance and who made the key tackle if the announcer missed it. They hold up little cards.
Yeah.
Because
When Vern Lundquist couldn't see the field anymore, they were going, that was number 22 on the tackle, 18 carried the ball. And the guys
So,
pointing to the name.
Joe told me two stories that one of them I'm going to repeat. Well, because you hate Skyline Chili so much, but he said
I don't hate it. See, there you go again with your blatant labels.
You
I'm
did
just
hate
saying
it.
that,
You don't
you know.
anymore. He's
No,
coming.
Be honest.
listen, I
you
gave
hate
it a
this
shot.
stuff.
I
You've
lost
called
the
it
bet.
garbage, crud, worse than dog food. If that's not hate, what is?
It's not a high opinion, I would say, but I don't hate it.
Okay. All right.
Cinnamon
anyway,
and chili, get out of
He
here,
went to
Mayo. What kind
he
of,
covered a ball
critic?
game in Cincinnati, and he described how the pregame meal in Cincinnati is sponsored by Skyline Chili.
Of
And
course.
then it opens up at 11:30 in the morning, and he said
Anyone
there was
there?
one sports writer from I don't know if it was whether the Cincinnati Enquirer or the Post. He didn't remember the guy's name, but he said it was a big hefty fellow, and he said he would go in there right at 11:30 and he'd pile on plate of
There was
heaping
always
plate
that guy
of
in the
pasta.
press box, no
Skyline?
matter
And
where
just-
you were.
and
Yeah.
4 ladles of the chili and cheese
Yeah.
up and down. He said this guy looked like he lived his whole week just for that moment.
Yes.
When they opened up the press box dining room, and
He's kind of like the Onion Man at the LA Coliseum, where the guy would get the Dodger dog that they put out there and then smother it. They had the big plastic jar of onions, like you get if you're going to like Costco and you're buying for the rest of your time in this universe, one item, and he would literally dump like the whole thing of onions on this hot dog, and the whole that whole section would reek. I had the unfortunate situation of having the seat next to him, which was a sign. So I knew of the Onion Man well. But there's always a guy in every press box. You've been in a lot of sports
Right.
press boxes. There is always that guy.
usually I was that guy.
No, but you weren't like the
No, I
400-pound guy
No,
that goes
no.
up there as soon as they open up the opportunity to eat.
Well,
Even
this
at the
is-
track when they used to feed people at the racetrack, there was always that guy.
This is the other thing, the other conversation we had before a game. I didn't like to eat a lot because I had a lot of work to do, and you never know, if you're going to have something that might trigger a bad reaction. And that was the other story he told when he was working a crew with an announcer up at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And I'm not going to ID the announcer, but he said that
Go ahead.
this guy Howard David. Remember
Howard David. I was thinking about him today, actually.
Yeah.
Howard David.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he
Yeah,
used to
because
be
he had a big campaign about Gil Hodges. He was always on the Gil Hodges should be in a Hall of Fame thing, and then he brought like Gil Hodges' wife on. I'm assuming she's passed away, but
just
he
earlier,
had her
Joan.
on for an interview, and Neil Rogers used to just stick it to him. Over this obsession with Gil Hodges, who finally made it to the Hall of Fame, and I think
he stuck it to
rightfully so.
Mo Howard David all the time.
All the time. He was,
yeah. But anyway, I guess Howard just he couldn't get enough of the bratwurst that they had that they were serving in the press box at Lambeau Field, and I think he had like 3 of them, and like Joseph said, he looked at it, he goes, Howard, gonna do his game. And he goes, I'm fine. I've been eating forever. Don't worry about me. And of course, sure enough, like midway through the second quarter.
Oh yeah, wow.
That was
he had to go.
He had that look of distress.
Yeah.
And during when they have a 2.5 minute commercial break, and he bolted. And at the end of the 2.5 minutes,
not enough time. It's not.
He
enough
still
time.
wasn't back. He said, and so he said
they just
threw it down to the sideline reporter to filibuster for a little bit.
Wow.
And then he comes back. He described a guy who looked like me after the hot dog contest with the meat sweats. Just
imagine you're doing a national game from Green Bay, from Lambeau Field, and you're on the crapper there at halftime. And that was another reason to not want to induce any kind of movement of that sort while you were eating press box food, because who would ever want to use the press box bathroom? Nobody.
No. This is a lunchtime show, and I think we want to get off this right away. So we're going to veer right into our friends at Lauderdale's. Visit Lauderdale, and Thursday we're going to be going to a Peruvian.
Or ice cream?
Peruvian for
nice.
Independence Day. Still ironing out some details, and in any event, they just released their lineup for the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion that goes hand in hand with Lauderdale's, and that starts August 1st, goes August 1st through September 30th. And I know my friends at the Sun Sentinel just posted on the sunsentinel.com website their picks for the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. I haven't looked through all of them yet. I know our friends at Even Keel take part, but besides the Dine Out Lauderdale, you can get all kinds of other savings through Lauderdale's, where you enjoy the good life for less in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Great deals on dining, hotels, attractions, spas, and more all summer long. So start planning your summer getaway online at visitlauderdale.com/deals and see all the ways you can save. You'll find great hotel deals on everything from luxury beach resorts to family-friendly suites. You can shop Lauderdale's for exciting attractions for the kids, like at Flamingo Gardens and Butterfly World. Plus, if you're a Florida resident, a first responder, or in the military, you'll find even more savings just for you. So you go on to the web right now, go to visitlauderdale.com/deals and start planning your best summer vacation ever.
All right, more to come on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. A very exciting edition today with the potato chip tasting setup to the show here, and I think we came up with Wise over Lays, but only by a small margin. It was like the Adelaide Bird scorecard from Mayo. It's like, what are you talking about? 115, 113. The guy was down in every round. And we'll come back. More to come on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Costa is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Costas. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell them the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Well, we're back on the Lunchbox on a Monday, and I just got a kind of a disturbing news flash from Sarni saying, and this is that, you know, how TVG, which is our favorite network and the home of Kate and Bradar and other announcers and horse racing, but, you know, it was kind of taken over, and they're in a partnership with FanDuel. And it seems like he says Front Office Sports, whatever that is, says FanDuel is reportedly launching a 24-hour TV channel and is going to be rebranding TVG as FanDuel TV and TVG2 as FanDuel Racing. Oh, okay. That's good. So TVG2 looks like it's going to be the racing channel starting in September. So
it's good news for us degenerates. I mean, they're going to be in need of content here. So we'll have to give a call to Todd Schrupp and get right to the top here with our
get those resumes together there, Defo, right? I could,
that's the way to go,
BS
man.
with
Take
the
advantage.
restaurant.
Always had, throughout my, whatever you could call this, if you want to call it a career, I always had great success with new outfits. You know, when something new would come along, a new radio station, a new TV station, a new network, boom, that's where I wanted to go. And so you know, this might be a good opportunity, although FanDuel's already partners with these guys. So are they eliminating TVG basically as the main source of the horse racing, or are they going to put everything on one channel now?
No, apparently, because there is a TVG2, which was the remnants of the old Stronach regime, HRTV, which had been kind of like for the second tier tracks, but now it looks like they're going to move all the racing and tracks to TVG2 and put the you know, the other content again once football season starts. That's all about the fantasy leagues. And
I like the Packers today laying 2.5, Mike. I mean, what do you think?
I think Rodgers. It depends what Rodgers does.
Aaron Rodgers is shot. Yeah, exactly.
We're auditioning. All right. Well, send them some tapes, Defo, but not this one of me stuffing my face.
Start working on it right now, my friend. Yeah.
Not the hot dog one, but maybe some other ones. Yeah. So anyway, that's some.
I don't know if they'd be inclined to get the Lunchbox, but they might, you know, go for a Degenerate Friday.
Degenerate Friday. When you do
a heavy heaping of Degenerate Friday.
This is true.
Thing there. Yeah.
This is true. But hey, but speaking of like blending food and sports, I wanted to ask you if you caught last night the ESPN Sunday night baseball broadcast with the Mets Padres, and they had, it was intriguing, an in-game interview with live mics in the outfield. The Mets left fielder last night, Mark Kanya, who's actually drafted by the Marlins, but I didn't realize that this guy, first of all, he's a delight to listen to. I don't know how he was multitasking and keeping his eye on the ball while he was getting all these questions.
It'd be funny if he like had a pop fly go right over his head while he was doing this interview.
The inning
ran in and the ball's like off the fence. You know, that would have been ugly.
The inning they talked to him, the half inning in the field they talked to him, he didn't get anything his way, but they were peppering him with all these questions. I didn't realize his alter ego, like I'm the Gambling Gourmet, his alter ego on Instagram is at Major League Foodie. This is a guy who knows how to eat, and he goes to some of the best places around the country. And now that he signed with the Mets before this season, he spent a long time in Oakland. He's originally from San Jose, went to Berkeley, sharp guy. And but he goes to some of these best places in New York, like Le Bernardin, and you know, and then when he goes to Chicago, he at Alschutz's place. It's like he goes to the Michelin starred places. They're coming to Miami this weekend. I want to try to reach out to him. He has an email on his Instagram. I want to try to get him on and talk about, because he was talking about how he's excited to come to Miami now that there's some Michelin stars been awarded here, and maybe checking out some of those places. We could have a talk. But you know, it's kind of,
man. He'll love the New York Greek style pizza.
Yeah, but it was funny because like when they started interviewing him, his Instagram following, I went right on it and I started following him. It was at 47,000, and by the end of the broadcast, it was up to 53,000. So he piled on 6,000.
Still
new
trailing
Let's
Eat South Florida by 30,000.
No, we don't like to brag, but the other thing I looked up is, like I said, this is a really, you know, very engaging guy. I looked up his career stats. He's a lifetime 248 hitter. Guess how much he's making this year, Defo?
10 million.
12 million a year.
12 million. Okay. That's not uncommon. Yeah.
Man, I went into the wrong line of work, because if mediocrity could be rewarded like that, just think
250 is the new 300. I mean, if a guy's hitting 250, you used to call him a bum, you know, back in the day. And now 250. You're like, whoa, 250. That's really so. This guy's on fire.
Hey, talking about batting 1,000,
Yeah.
Costa's Greek Eatery and
Woo!
Pizzeria. I was
Yes,
there
sir.
again. Besides the last Tuesday's remote, I brought Dickstein there. We had a little lunch meeting on,
Nice.
I think it was Friday. It was gorgeous. We saw Costa, we saw Alicia. We had a great slice of pepperoni. Dickstein proclaimed it great. One of his favorite slices that he's found down here. And then we did the full on onslaught. We had some a hero platter with beautiful sliced up the lamb and beef combo, and we also got lamb chops, and we got a little bit of spreads, the hummus, all that stuff and more at Costa's Greek Eatery and Pizzeria, 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, right across from the big Walmart Supercenter in northern part of Pompano. Check out their menus, and to order for takeout and delivery, go to costasgreekeaterypizzeria.com. And when you go there, you can get the pizza, you get the Greek specialties, you'll get treated like family because that's their motto. At Costa's, everyone is family. Bring your appetite and bring
Mayo.
bring me. I love it there. All right, tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And that's it.
Yeah, he's a changed man, this Mayo. I mean, something's affecting him. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I guess we can't disclose that. Let's hope it goes somewhere because I kind of like this Mayo a lot better. He admits when he's wrong. He's jolly. He's singing zippity doo-dah when he comes on the show instead of complaining, what am I going to do? And, a whole new man. So we'll come back and finish things off on this Monday edition of the Lunchbox in a moment.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back, and we made it through another Monday there, Defo. I see you're chewing on something. What do you got for going for lunch?
I got a couple of little cashews here that I was
Keep it in
chomping
nuts.
on here.
I've ruined them.
Between,
I
I
have
have
one. It is
a
funny.
very heavy exercise schedule coming up in short order, so trying to get a little, a little
funny.
substance in the body here. But
Yeah.
no, it was great. Another fine addition. It's this, metamorphosis that's happened with you that I find fascinating, and I hope it continues into Tuesday. I really do.
What happened was I finally took a walk of life again. I had been kind of on the
There you
shelf.
go.
with
You
the
have to go again today,
exercise.
though. You can't do it.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Every
I've got
third
a
day,
very
every fifth
busy
day.
day.
Yeah.
I did a little walk this morning while my daughter was at the gym.
1
but,
hour of your day. Just take 1
no,
hour.
but
of your day.
yesterday it was beautiful out on the beach. Me and my daughter, we took about a 3.5 mile walk. It was nice
Nice.
and bright and sunny. And tell you what, I felt like a new man. I got nothing to complain about.
You look different, and there's something going on in your life
all
that
right,
hopefully
we'll
we'll
see.
get to the bottom of. Yeah.
There's a lot going on, my friend. Hey, one thing I didn't get to today, we'll do it tomorrow, but I finally made it into Anthony's Clam House over the weekend.
Nice.
Place
Oh
up on
yeah. What'd you
Commercial.
think? You like
And
it?
Walter is one. We're going to reserve that for tomorrow. We got to give a little tease for something.
All
So
right,
we'll
all
be
right.
back. We'll be back tomorrow on the Lunchbox, and that's going to do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. And until tomorrow, it's for Jeff Defo DeForest and Mike Lubie Lubitz. I'm Mike Mayo saying to remember to enjoy every sandwich.